On the top of page 5. Shabbos, everyone, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Shabbos, sweet people. You know, it's amazing that today, many of you, I'm sure, know this, today is Friday the 13th. Like, after the last 18 months, what's Friday the 13th? I mean, about 2021, the year, you know? And here we are. Here we are. 13 is a lucky number in our tradition and has the numerical value of the word love, ahava and echad. And two of those 13s become havaya, existence itself. So, we're here, Baruch Hashem. And we bring all of those who are not here physically, those who are online, wherever they might be, part of this community beyond it, who isn't a part of this community that we call the human community. All of us together, and the global community. Shabbos is for the world. So welcome from the West Coast, and from around the corner, and from Mexico City. If you're here for the first time, sing with us where you are. Don't let the screen be an excuse, or maybe let the screen be your excuse. Have fun, it's Shabbat. Shabbat brings healing to a broken world, and it is broken. So from this broken hill, we sing to you, Higalena, on page 7 and 8 on the bottom of the page. On page 9 and 10, go out and sing to God. Wish those doors were open, but that's another conversation. Blast it out. Lechu, 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 lechu. Lechu, nera, nena. L'Adonai. Naria. Nekad machana betoda bezemiros narialo. 40 שנה הקודמת ואומר אבטו אליהם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי מאבי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי
שירו לאדוני שיהיה חדש שירו לאדוני כל הארץ שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו מסו מיום ליום ישועתו ספרו בגויים כבודו בכל עמים נפלאותיו אליי כי גדול אדוני מהולל מאוד נורא הוא על כל אלוהים כי כל אלוהי העמים מניבים באדוני שמיים עשה אוהל והדר לפניו עושה דיבר במקדשו המון אדוני משפחות עמים עבור אדוני כבוד ועוז עבור אדוני כבוד שמו שאו מלחמו לך צנותיו עבור אדוני באדמת קודש חילו מפניו כל הארץ אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך עבדי מודל בת הלירות יתן ימים במישרים ישמחו השמיים ותגר הארץ ירם הים ומלוא ינלו שדי בכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל הצער לפני אדוני כי יברך יבא לשפוט הארץ ישפוט תבל וצדק וימים באמונה
Please rise, everyone, if you're able. Psalm 27, Psalm 29, excuse me, on page 1920.
Abu Ladonai, Kabot
You may be seated, everyone. And if you follow us to page 21, please, with the strength of your loving hands, untie the binding knot. Receive the song of your people, strengthen, cleanse us. This beautiful prayer poem that comes to us from well over maybe 1,500 years ago, finds its way here at this moment of deep vulnerability as we release the week and receive Shabbat. Please, God, help us to untie the things that keep us in knots, keep us bound, keep us tight. After all, we do seek your unity. Bless us, cleanse us. Please join Anna Bekoach. I invite you to close your eyes as we allow Shabbat to ground us, allow the music to release us, allow yourself to be fully present and alive. Noticing any tension, any holding, anything that inhibits Shabbat's capacity to invite rest. Taking a couple of breaths together. On the Shabbat of Shoftim, of judges, notice any judging. Allow all judgments be sweet as we breathe. And page 23 and 24. Center of Shabbat. The primary movement of Shabbat is Kabbalah, to receive. So let's go to receive. Go to receive. Mechadadi. Mechadadi likas kala v'nei Shabbat neka havelas Shomor v'zachor v'dibor lecha ishmi'a el hamnivchan Adonai echad u'shmo echad v'shem u'tiferet v'letina
breakout Shabbat bechuvnelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh kedem mesucha somas v'mashachina
מקדש מלך, עיר מלוכה, קום נצאי תאהביך, רעב לך שבט בעמק הרחב, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה.
בשלום, התרץ בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, רוב חמוני עם סגולה, אוי חלה שבת המלכה, אדוני, לקראת חלה, בני שבת נקבלו. Good Shabbos, Yidden. Good Shabbos. Please remain standing if you're able as we pray for those in need of healing this evening. It's almost like each and every Friday night, the way that our brilliant sages constructed it is that we're at a chasana, we're at a wedding, and then right when we're at the height of the chuppah, we break a glass. We're remind ourselves of the broken world that we bring with us. Even in our highest joy, we bring the fragments along. For those who are in need of healing tonight, we sing and we pray and we envision. Healer of the broken-hearted, binder of our wounds, counter of uncountable stars. You know who we are. Harofei lishvurei lei. Unchabesh li'atzotam Mune mispar l'kochavim Lechulam shemo yikra We're the one who blessed their ancestors and healed them through body, heart, mind, and spirit, through loving connection, through the mitzvah of Bikur Cholim and the prayers for those who are in need of healing. May all of those who are sick tonight on every level be healed, and hold them in our hearts as we say together. Healing in body, heart, mind, and spirit, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated, everyone. In the Zumagog, you may be seated too. A couple of very brief announcements before we have time for some hellos. So we are in full Elul swing. For those who don't know what Elul is the month that precedes the high holidays. It is the month of preparation, and we're in preparation mode. So we are teaching full week, every week. So Rabbi Mira, Rabbi Rivera is going to be teaching, and is teaching, and Rabbi Kolar Esses, Rabbi Diane is teaching, and I'm teaching. Check out more offerings as well in our Shabbat announcements on our Romemu website. Lots of really incredible classes. This past week was really, really elevating. As you can see, we have a theme that we're going to be exploring together in the coming year in a very intense way during the Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot holidays that are in a couple of weeks. But this trust theme, not in any way, shape, or form saying what to trust in or that we should trust in, but that trust is an issue that we'll be exploring and we'll be, in some ways, interrogating, investigating, but also elevating. And so the elevations every day are elevations that have to do with trust. And so please go to our Facebook page or check out these prompts that are happening daily throughout Elul to participate in giving us your voice. What are you trusting in? What have you trusted in? What is it that you lean on and rely upon? All of that. Why not do a little work during Elul, right? Just a little bit of work. Right, Alina? A little work? Okay. We're going to have on-site services and online services. We are in close contact with our medical team task force. We are in every day. We are in touch with them, and we are weighing the recent, the latest evidence, and in touch with our epidemiologists and so on. And so, as of now, everyone that will be on site with us will have to be vaccinated and wear a mask. And we may, seeing how things are going with the Delta variant, we may need more precautions to make sure everybody's safe. But our utmost concern and highest priority is your safety. And so we will have a limited number of seats. At this point, we're actually not limiting it to any number, but please let us know as soon as possible so we know if you're going to want to be on site or if you'll be joining us online. That will really matter, really matter. Our Book of Remembrance, our Yizkor booklet, will have a deadline for the 20th of August. So just please, if you're going to want your loved one remembered in our Book of Remembrance, please remember to submit the names by August 20th. Is that it for tonight, Rebecca? All right, thank you. Anybody here in the room that's here for the first time? Do we have any first-timers? Wow. I'll tell you what. A couple of first-timers. You know what? I'm a Kobo. I can do it all. Let's do it all. Make sure this is on. Is this on? Let me just get that on. Bum, 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 bum. All right. So look at you. You're so courageous. You're just getting up, and you don't even know what I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you why you like the St. Louis Cardinals. That's what I'm about to ask you.
Oh. So originally I'm from St. Louis. However, I had the proud pleasure of moving to Chicago and living in Wrigleyville and rooting for the Cardinals and the away team.
Oh, nice. Exactly.
My name is Rocky. I live in Chicago. I've been there for about 10 years now. However, I'm in town for a fundraiser for a nonprofit that I work for. And in this time, I'm also taking the opportunity to spend time with my dear friend Josh.
Nice. Thank you for
having me.
Here. Of course. Love that. That was a great intro. All right. I think I'm going all the way to this side. How many of you remembered the Donahue show? Come on. Come on. I'm going to be the Donahue show. Here we go. All right. You're on.
All right. Hi, my name is Sophia. I grew up in Queens, born in Uzbekistan. And I discovered Romemu during COVID year, YouTubing Rabbi Zalman Schechter's YouTubes. And I saw an interview that a talk that the both of you gave, and that's how I stumbled upon Romemu.
That's how I found Romemu too. That's kind of such a great story. Thank you for being with us. Wow. YouTube. Unbelievable. Anybody here who hasn't been here in a long time and lives on the West Coast and wants to say hello? Anybody? Anybody online? Just kidding. You don't have to say hello, but I'm so happy to see you. Want to say hi? Okay. Good to see you. All right. We have a couple of new people online, maybe. Let me see in the chat area. It's a new reality, isn't it, friends? 18 months ago, did Zoom exist? You know, if a Zoom person sang and there was nobody to listen, did it really happen? I mean, if we have Zoom, anybody here for the first time for the Zoom? Oh, we can't turn on the chat. Okay. I'm getting that, Rebecca. Okay. Anybody here for the first time that's waving their hand feverishly saying, I'm here? Okay. So let us just say that if we could, we would be saying hello to all of you who are here for the first time. And if we could, we'd be welcoming you in Zoom land, and we'll get to that too at some point. And maybe at one point with 3D printing, we might be able to print all of you and just put you right here. Who knows? But we know that behind these two-dimensional figures are lots of folks who are celebrating Shabbat in lots of different places. And so we welcome you from all of your different places, 124 cameras strong. I don't know what that turns out to in the algorithms but it's lots of people, lots of holy souls. And now's a good moment for us to actually have you turn on your camera. If you're camera savvy and you know how to do that, you can unmute your camera. I know I made that up, but you can put your camera on so we can just see you and wish you a Shabbat Shalom as people both in the Zoomagog and in the Roomagog are going to rise up to the heights of your stature, because we're in the heights, and we're about the heights. That's because we're Romemu, we're elevated. Let's see, some people here. Jamie asking, how it's like, love seeing your face. You're putting them, Nancy Dallard, Richard, Geduldig. Let's see, we got to get some da-da-da. As we say hello to Andrea Fooner, we invite people here in the Rumagog, if you feel comfortable turning to a friend and saying Shabbat Shalom, you might. Want to just introduce yourselves. I'm just going to start calling out people that I see who look like I just want to say hi. Jonathan G., you get your hand on your face, and I just want to say good Shabbos to you, brother. And I can say good Shabbos to see Irene, Jason, Jody, Mitzi, Max, Debbie, Lars, Zelda, Pearl, Keith and Barbara, Leslie, Gloria, Ronnie, our angel Ronnie and Joe, Shabbos friends, David, Richard, Shabbos brother, Robin and Holly, Shabbos Alex, Shabbos Becca, Carol Ann Shine. You're here, I see ya. Ramit and your mother? Is that your mother, Ramit, who's been learning with us all week? Oh, love that. Hi, Renee. I know. If only you guys, you can mute the rabbi whenever you want. That's actually an option now. So if I say anything you don't like, you just, Abby Rosen in the house. Raphael, we got a big day coming with you, my friends. Can't wait for that day. Good Shabbos, Sharon, Jessica, Rachel, Tammy, and Rob. I just see one half. Sharon Dolan. Shabbos, Elaine, David and Sarah. David, those two arms should not be folded, my friend. They should be around your beloved's shoulders. That's it. There you go. Okay. Ana Luisa, ¿qué pasa? Amiga. ¿Todo bien? Shabbat Shalom. Shabbos, Paula, Renee, and Adam. Hi, ya, yadam, hi, dai, da, dai, da, dam. Hi, dai. I'm on a whole new page right now. Alyssa, Marco, Shabbos, Ruth. Send my love to Ira. Shabbos Bess and Shayna. Juan, Alyssa. Hi, guys. Let's baruch together. You can find these words and the sacred choreography of our ancestors as they bowed on the baruch, the blessing, and rose up when they recited the name of the divine, as if to say, God gives me strength to stand tall. God gives me strength to fall and rise up again and again and again. Et Adonai HaMevorach va'ed. Yadai hon, yadai lalai nom, yadai nom, lalai You may be seated, Bruchat Shechina, page 33 and 34. Eloheinu Ruach Haolam, source of all impermanence. We hold the light, let it go. Hold the dark and let it go. V'ret yom v'layla, golet or mitnei choshech, choshech mitnei magim. Eila chaya v'kayemet, tamid timloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Bruchat Shechina, Hamariva Adavim. Ahavat Olam on page 35 and 36. May love open the door. May love open my heart. May love strengthen me to hear. May your love give me strength. V'ahabatecha la torsu mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. We prepare for Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. On page 39 and 40, V'yohavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hoyu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam בשבתך ובעצתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לעוז על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכספתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. Continue shma'ing, listening on page 41, 42, 43 and 44. Ayam Shema. וכספתם המזוזות ביתך וישאר למען יבוא ימיכם וימיכם. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם ויעשו להם ציצית על גנבי בגדיהם לדורות נתנו על ציצית על גנב וצלחת וצלח לציצית ויישם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם לא תזכרו בדברכם ובעיניכם אשר הייתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיו והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אדוני, אלוהיכם, אמת. Tehilos Ne'en Elyon V'chuach Moshe Yisrael Achanu Shira B'simecha, page 47 and 48 B'simcha Rabah V'yameru Cholam Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai Mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh Nora tehilov oseh Malchusecha Ruvanecha v'keal l'fnei Moshe u'Miriam Ze'eli anu ve'ameru Adonai Eloh
לעולם ועד.
ונאמר כי בנה אדוני את יעקב וגאל חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 49. We pray for peace. Adonai Eloheinu lev shalom v'hamidenu v'alekeinu lechayim ufros aleinu Sukkot Shalom Mecha V'talakeneinu Eitza tova milfanecha V'hoshiyenu Leman Shemecha v'hoshiyenu Leman Shemecha Perok Yasar Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomecha Baruch ata Adonai Hapore sukkah shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael V'al kol yoshvei tevel Ve'al Yerushalayim. Please rise if you are able. The Shamru on page 51, 52. ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות בריתו
Kaddish on page 51 and 52. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei nabah Alma livrach Yerushalem nichmal chusei V'chayechon egum yomechon V'chayechol beit Yisrael Ba'agala ba'agala U'mizman kori v'yimeru
Amen.
יהי שמם המבורך, עולם מעמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי דקדושה.
לכו
לעילה, מן כל בחדה ושירתה,
תושבחה סולחם אותה, דמירון בעלמא.
ואמרו
We begin Amidah together, the silent reflections, which can be found in your Siddur on page 55 and 56. Oh. Tomorrow morning's Torah reading has a remarkably strange ritual that if you're like a beginner to studying Torah, you might not want to be given this as your first thing to read in the Torah because it's quite strange. In chapter 21 of the book of Deuteronomy, the Torah tells us, Moses teaches, Ki matzil chalal be'adama asher Adonai Elohecha noten lecha levishta nofel basadeh. If in the land that God will give you now, you find someone who's slain, and they've been found lying in the field, lo noda mihi kau, and we don't know who's responsible for this death. V'yatz'u zekenecha v'shoftecha u'madidu el harim, and the elders and the magistrates, the justices, will go out and they will measure from one city, asher sivot hachalal, that is surrounding the halal, the corpse. Number of cities, 2 cities, not sure what happened here, and so they go out and they measure, make sure which is the city that's closest to the corpse. But the city that is closest, right, to that halal, to the corpse, they take a heifer, asher lo ubadba, that has not ever been worked, right? It's a cow that's never worked before. Asher lo mashcha be'ol, and they never dragged a yoke. And the elders of that city take this heifer down to a Nachal Eitan, is like an ever-flowing wadi, like a river. Asher lo ya'abed bo, that where because of the river there's no agriculture that might be possible in that area. Right? That's the spot. Find that spot. Odd because is it a river that's overflowing? And that wouldn't make sense. It should be like a river that doesn't flow. But apparently, both of those interpretations work here. Something about the land where you're going to actually have this ritual has to be a place where you can't, right? Seeds can't grow in that place. Ve'arfu sham et ha'egla b'nachal, and they have to break the neck of this heifer over this water body. So far, everybody, this is like your Judaism? All good? Anybody, last time, did you do this ritual last week? Anybody? Rich, I know you did it, I know. Okay. And then the Levites show up. And they're standing there, the Levites, or the Zakenim really, it's the priests. And then the elders of the city engage in this ritual. The elders of the city that were closest to this death, this unaccounted for death. The elders come forward and they wash their hands in the water and they say out loud, Yadenu lo shafchu et adam hazeh ve'einenu lo ra'u. Where they say out loud, our hands did not spill this blood, meaning the blood that was in the ground, meaning the unaccounted for murder. and our eyes didn't see, meaning not our fault. We were not responsible for this. We're being held accountable, and we're publicly acknowledging that we, and kind of in front of everyone, we're saying we didn't do this. Kaper le'amcha Yisrael asher padita. Please, God, atone for the children of Israel whom you have redeemed. Ve'al titein dam naki b'kereb amcha Yisrael. Let not there be innocent blood shed in your nation, in your land. This strange ritual just raises all kinds of thorny questions. It's best understood probably by Near Eastern scholarship that has shown that in the Hittite cultures that surrounded it, there was a common practice of when there was an unaccounted for death or murder, the city closest would have to give monetary compensation. That was the way they established some element of accountability. There's also, of course, elements of here that has to do with the assumption that the blood of the land, the cries of Abel, right, from the land, the cries of Hevel, of the first murder in the Torah, the cries of humanity are soaked in the land. The land is alive. The land, right, will not give forth fruit. This is a way of vicariously, magically, trying to account balances that need to be balanced in order for the cosmos to be in reciprocity for the ancient Israelites. All wonderful. But writ large, this is a remarkable ritual of accountability. This text has been used in modern Israel to talk about all ways in which public officials can take accountability and must take accountability for all manner of criminal offense or not that has taken place on their watch. This is, of course, the source probably for the greatest quote, maybe from Heschel, who wrote that in a free society, some are guilty, but all are responsible. These zikanim, these elders, are brought into a conversation about something that might not have anything to do with them whatsoever, but they are called forth to give an accounting. And this wonderfully weird and magical rite invites a ritual to reset the balance and the order of a cosmos rent asunder by the shedding of innocent blood. The rabbis who read this sometime later, of course, read into this not magic, but ethics. The rabbis read into the confession of the elders when they say, our hands didn't spill this blood and our eyes didn't see this crime. The rabbis read into this actually an acceptance of an extra juridical responsibility of ethics in a community. The rabbi's reading this gloss when it says, our hands didn't shed the blood of this innocent human being. The rabbis ask rhetorically, would we have thought that a group of righteous rabbis sitting in a town somewhere would have to say they didn't kill this innocent person? Really? What's the Havamina? Really? Why do they have to? So listen to what the rabbis say, quoting the Mishnah, Midrash. Everybody says this. When the rabbis say our hands didn't spill the blood, they didn't mean our hands didn't spill the blood. They meant we can promise that when the stranger came to town, if this was a stranger, our hands gave him food. We can promise that when we saw this stranger come into our town, our eyes noticed this person and cared for them. Of course, the level of responsibility of rabbis, right? The text says we have to say we didn't kill them. Great. Really? Is that where it ends? That's the limits of your responsibility? The rabbis have to actually go to extra lengths to acknowledge even greater responsibility that we have for one another. And in their confession, they have to cover all their bases. Were you hospitable? Were you loving? Did you make sure that when they came to your city, you cared for them? Did you make sure when they were in your midst, you saw them? It's a pretty high bar. And it speaks so deeply to this moment of trust. Just this past Monday, on the first day of the month of Elul, we announced to the community that the theme that we'll be exploring for the entirety of this next year, like we explored strength last year, each and every Shabbat, each and every month, each and every holiday this year will be focused on trust. What it is, what it isn't, what it might be to lose it, how it might be to regain it. And the first teaching of this Torah portion is that trust is rebuilt when we acknowledge that we have much more responsibility than we might imagine we do have. It's not just, hey, we're done. As this light at the end of the tunnel continues to recede from the ground in which we can't see any longer because it's not workable. As it recedes from view, we see before us people who are washing their hands of their responsibility to the broader collective. It's true. The Constitution guarantees me my freedom. It's true that I can wash my hands and say, you know, I'm taking care of myself. But the Torah calls us to an even greater sense of responsibility for one another. An even greater sense of ownership over the public space and the accountability that is demanded from the public space for us to step back in order for there to be a greater public space than the space that we were inhabiting. So trust happens when we go the extra, when we do the extra, when we think the extra, we rebuild back. And I think that we have tremendous koach to do that. I haven't given up on any one of you. I haven't given up on any one of you because I know you haven't given up on yourselves. And that's where it begins. If we know one thing from the month of Elul, if we know one thing about what it is to build trust with others, it begins when we have trust in ourselves. If we don't trust ourselves, it'll be very hard to trust someone else. If we don't know deeply within us that on some level, all of us, even when we make mistakes, even when we make foolish mistakes, egregious mistakes, something unconscionably bad and stupid, that we have it within us to fix that which we've broken, then tshuva doesn't get off the ground, trust completely erodes, and we will live in a very, very confused space for many years to come. And so here we are. We're coming in for landing. And each and every day of this month, as I said on Monday night at my Hasidic Master's class, we get a chance to sing the song that we were just singing. One thing I ask, right? This great song, Achat Shalti, Psalm 27. But right before that psalm, that line in the psalm, it says, if all things were surrounding me, I would still bezot ani botech, in this I trust. In this I trust. And then it says, one thing I ask. And if you follow the flow, I know it's 115 degrees in this shul right now. And if I were you, I'd be falling asleep. But I'm lucky enough that I'm standing in front of you. And so I'm awake. And that's a good thing for you. Because Lord knows it is hot in here. And I'm wearing a wool tallis. I don't have a summer tallis. No summer tallis here. I just want to bikram my davening. I'm going to be schwitzy schwitzers. So the psalmist in Psalm 27 says, God, you are my light. You are my way out, my redemption, my salvation. You're the doorway out. You're the opening. You open the window and I walk out with you. Yish'i. Why would I be afraid? Why would I let fear dominate my mind, God, if you are the light? Right? If all of my enemies were surrounding me on every side, in this I would trust. One thing I ask of you, God, place me in your space. I want to live with you. I want to know you. I want to enjoy the presence of equanimity and blessing and source. That's what I ask. But it doesn't make sense. In this I trust, one thing I ask. It should say, in this I trust, you will always be there for me. In this I trust, you're not going anywhere. In this I trust, you've always been there for me before. You'll always, like, in this I trust, one thing I ask. In this I trust, one thing I ask. And I said on Monday night, in the name of a teacher that I studied with, it actually does make sense. All tshuva begins with the recognition that you can trust that deep down what you ask for really is happiness. What you ask for really is to be in God's house, to be connected to other human beings, to do the right thing, to self-transcend, to be held accountable, to say, you know what, I made a mistake, sorry. I was being selfish. Can we start again? One thing I ask, and this I trust, in my heart, I want another chance. And I'll do it better this time. I'll do it right this time. I have more information this time. Bizot ani boteach achat sha'alti. Even when I was messing up, I was really just trying to find my way to you. My hands are clean. I'm doing the work. That's the work of Elul. That's the work of Tishrei. As Yehuda Amichai said so beautifully and so memorably, he said, the place where we are right, flowers never grow. And the place where we are right is hard and trampled like a yard. In the place where we are right, nothing grows. I trust you. This is the work. Let's do it. Please rise if you're able.
What are we doing?
One day.
Not one day.
Everybody, this is Noah Chase, Noah Solomon. He's our davening leader tonight together with Rabbi Rivera and Rich Stein. We're so lucky to have his voice in his hands, aren't we? You guys are, I know Paulette, I see. So everybody rise up, okay? Rise up. Ori, Eve, rise up, rise up, rise up. Sing with us.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. Then I pray, don't take me soon, cause I am here for a reason. Well, sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down, cause the negativity surrounds. Well, I know someday it will all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that they don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and the children will say one day, one day, one day, oh, 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 one day, one day, one day.
It's not up.
We don't lose, 'cause we don't lose when they feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving, though the war does stay raging. In this maze you may lose your way, it might drive you crazy, don't let it phase you, no way, no way. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down, cause the negativity surrounds. Oh, well, I know someday it will all turn around, because all my life I was waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that they don't want to fight no more, no more.
שלא סומכנו כהם וגור עלינו עם כל העולם ואנחנו קוראים משתחווים מודים למלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש 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 ברוך הוא הקדוש 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 ברוך הוא זה one day one day one day Shema, 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 Shemo, Shemo, Shemo Echad,
Shemo Echad.
That one day, one day,
One day, Shemo
one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, into this holy space, inviting all of those who are in the Zoom space to place the names of loved ones in the chat area, as well as the screen that we'll be sharing. We call out the names of loved ones at this moment, remembering Pauline Dixon and Joel Winograd, remembering Albert Passner, Eliza Pesha Bat Chana, Henry Bowman Backer, and Zach Weiss. Dr. Norman Crane, Solomon Marenberg, Cecilia Romo, Stuart Fetfai, David Winograd, and Kimberly Hall, David Silverstein, Harriet Bloom, Shirley Siegel, and Benjamin Wolf Telushkin, Beth Baldridge and Devorah Stoll, Lee Brox, John Foreman Shore, and Ellsworth Levine, Erwin Bardash, and Mr. Elsie Pops Floyd. Remember Lynn Blacker and Shirley Gatzik, Grace Tanim Denemark, Rabbi Raphael Goldstein, Hannah Magid Yitzchak Buxbaum, Brady Rifkin, Lorette Nierenberg, Barry Kosky, Betty Levin, Seymour Borstein, Leslie Robert Axelrod, Charlotte Figman, and Stuart Saville. Lilia Zimmett and Julia Eisenberg, Shirley Marlowe, Gretchen Drury, Michael Fricano Jr. and Nancy Traeger, Rabbi Dr. Henry Dicker, Robert Gerald Cohen, Angela M. Margolis, Everett Duchin, Batya Ariel Bat Avraham, Kathy Maddy, Elizabeth Deegan and Bertha Sutton, Naomi Kramer Stemp and Miriam Mimi Sternwolf, Hadassah Loeb and Roberta Lipperman, Elise Macaras and Andy Neiman. We remember Annie Esty, Marisa Nyanyan, Robin Robertson, Eric Press, Iona Miller, Yost Lindberg, and Dr. Randy Baker, Henry Lee and Nancy Levy, Susan McLahan and Pat Schneider. We remember Reverend Matthew Cohen, Top Sparks, and Jerry Garcia, Mickey Mantle, Eliezer Lev Ben Shmuel Vechana, Reverend Robert Grates, Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sachs, Mark Evan Beitman, Anne Marie Zangara, Zangara Zati Munajat. We also have those in this community here who might have a loved one they're standing for.
Nathan Wolfman.
Marianne Weber Dubin.
Eric and the Matin.
If it's your custom to stand for the mourners, please rise for the mourners' Kaddish. You can find it on the screen in front of you. Iskadal v'yiskadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Bi'alma divrach Yirusei v'yamlich machusei, v'chaychon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kariv imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach olam olamei almaya, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי קודשה בריחו ואלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמרן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלום רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום ולומר הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. Amen. May their memories be a blessing. We invite everybody to please rise for Psalm 27 and Achat Sha'alti, which can be found
Page 100.
Thank you. Achan sha'alati me'et Hashem ota'av
אחת שאלתי
me'et Adonai ota'av kesh o shir benoam benoam Adonai ulevaker to do this cup of blessing, once again, our davening leaders and also those who are behind the scenes tonight. I want Yasher Koach to Ari and to Rebecca for hosting us as a remote team, to Natalia, Justin Jr., and Freddie on site, and also to Full Stack Anthony and Cyrus and to the whole team. Thank you so much. As we continue to figure this thing out, we need to keep figuring it out together. So your generosity and your patience is also such a big thing. I was reading today an article from, doesn't matter who it was from, but he was saying how important it is for us to remember our civic duties and civic responsibilities, especially at a time when people are speaking often about rights, and that always comes up around America. Like, what are the mitzvot of being an American? Like, what does it mean to have a mitzvah? What's your civic duty or civic responsibility? So there are very few also civic duties as a member of a Romemu or a liberal synagogue, other than pay your dues, show up and be participants, right? That's your duty, to participate. It's like, that's your duty. You know what else is your duty? To be generous. To be generous at this time of the year, especially with our office staff and with one another as we continue to figure this thing out. We're all in this together. We're all up to here wanting it to be over. Just a little bit more. Have some patience with each other. Be generous tonight, tomorrow. An extra hug will go a long way. Extra hugs go a long way. So into this cup of blessing, all of you there, you're everywhere. Page 88, everyone, Yom HaShishi. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישבוס ביום השביעי וכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש עושו כי בו שבס מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות צווי חבריי לחיים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר ירשנו מצוותיו ורצוונו ושבת קדשו בידיו ורצון הנחיל לנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה ורצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים everybody, good Shabbos, לחיים, לחיים.
La 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 la.